Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining today's Resource of the Month session. My name is Annabelle Caspar, and I am the University of Warwick's current Customer Success Manager here at The Economist. The aim of today's session is to take you through the best ways to utilise your access to The Economist, which is available to you as a Warwick University student. And hopefully it'll highlight some key areas of our content that you were not aware of before. To begin with, I'll be starting with a brief intro to The Economist Group, for those of you who aren't aware of our beginnings and the businesses that make up our great brand. Next, I'll walk you through how to activate and register under the subscription. I'll then take you through the different ways you can access and utilize our content through an active demo of economist.com. This will allow you to customize the way you read or listen to our content in order to suit your needs. Lastly, I'll be walking you through our newest feature, which is an integration with Microsoft Teams. This new feature allows you to engage with our content through the platforms you use daily. We should have some time for questions at the end of the session, so please feel free to comment in the chat throughout the demo if you have any, or save them for the end. From its beginnings in 1843, when the Economist newspaper was founded by a Scottish hat manufacturer to further the cause of free trade, the Economist Group has evolved into a staunchly independent global media and information services company with intelligent brands for an international audience. Just one of four uniquely brilliant brands, The Economist has helped readers grasp the great drivers of change, from technology to geopolitics, finance, and economics. In recent years, our journalism has expanded online onto apps, podcasts, films, subscriber-only events, interactive infographics, and social media. And at a time when trust in media is low, our commitment to rigorous, fact-led journalism is unwavering. At the core of everything we do is our independence. We are clear about what makes us stand out: timely provision of insight and context, quality, not quantity, rigor, and wit. Now, if you have not yet registered or activated your access, simply scan the QR code on the screen now or head to our homepage at www.economist.com and click Login. Select the Register Now button, and here you'll either need to put in your @warwick.ac.uk or at wbs.ac.uk email address and register with some additional details. Once you've registered, you'll receive a verification email to the email used. Once you've verified your email, you'll be redirected back to economist.com. These credentials will allow you to access our content on both our website and app. If you experience any issues with your registration and activation, please reach out to the support team on academicsupport@warwick.ac.uk, and I'll be able to work with the staff there to troubleshoot any issues. While the bulk of our content is on our website, our apps are definitely the product of choice for most of our subscribers, as it allows subscribers to engage with our content on the go. The additional benefit of the app is that it also has audio associated with the content. You're able to download and listen to our weekly edition, as well as listen to our narrated articles, which you can also save and listen to offline. You can access our podcasts and podcast series easily through the app, as there is a specific podcast section showing current and previous episodes, similar to other streaming platforms. We now have short videos available on our apps and across our socials, which provide easy, digestible content on the go. On the app, you can find these by scrolling down on the home page, where you'll be able to slide horizontally to view our most recent videos. These videos are usually no more than 5 minutes long and dive into a range of topics which are highlighted at the top of the video. These videos can also be found on our Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. You'll also be able to find the most recent World Ahead, which is our annual forecast publication, as well as our sister long-form publication, 1843, on the app. Now, hopefully, that's all given you enough time to activate. If not, don't worry, I will be sharing this deck around after the session alongside the content links that I'll be discussing. So let's dive into the demo. Perfect. So navigating around economist.com is pretty straightforward. However, I wanted to flag a few areas that I thought would be valuable to you all. The first section that is notable is the My Economist section, which you can find at the top right hand of the screen. This will lead you to your My Account section where you can manage any marketing preferences and newsletter access, as well as access your saved articles. The easiest way to navigate around e.com is through the menu button over on the left-hand side. This will show you our current topics, regionally split content, industry-specific content, and our additional content like podcasts, newsletters, films, and subscriber-only events. On the far left side of the menu, you can see our current topics. As suggested, this is the best place to find the most recent and relevant content relating to key topics that are being discussed at the moment. Climate change is the topic on everyone's lips at the moment. And with our specific key topic area, you can find all content covering climate change, carbon emissions, play. This section is split out into our latest stories, politics, business and finance, and science and data. So you can easily search for industry-specific content as well. Navigating back through the drop-down menu, what you'll find on the far left of the screen is the World Ahead 2025. This is our annual forecast publication that looks at the top trends that we believe will impact and influence the year to come. With the elections, conflicts, and technological advances of the last 12 months, we hone in on the 10 trends that we believe will impact 2025. This is released every year in November, and you'll be able to access this via economist.com and the Economist app until our next World Ahead is released in November 2025. We find that a lot of our student subscribers find a lot of value in our A to Z glossaries. Navigating back through the drop-down menu, you can see that we have 4 glossaries. However, our international relations and economics glossaries are the most highly utilised areas for university students. If we go into the A to Z of economics, you can see these glossaries show succinct explanations of terms, which also then lead out onto the terms that are mentioned. If you're a finance or economics student, I'd like to also highlight the Economist Big Mac Index, which you can see here under our business and economics section. This was developed by The Economist back in 1986 as a way to use the cost of Big Macs across the world to make exchange rate theory more digestible for our subscribers. Today, this index is being utilised in many economic textbooks and academic studies and can assist in understanding a cross-country comparison of exchange rates. This interactive page allows you to choose different currencies and index dates to see how exchange rates have changed over the years. Navigating back through the drop-down menu, you can find our in-depth section, which you can see here. This covers most of The Economist's longer form and visual journalism. We find that a lot of our student subscribers often utilize this area of our content when researching or writing reports, as the visualization of statistics allows for a clear and detailed analysis of the topics being discussed. The first section I'd like to highlight here is our graphic detail section. If you are a researcher or analyst, our graphic detail section dives into our visual journalism. Charts, maps, and tables have graced the pages of The Economist since the first edition and continue to be highly regarded. Well thought out charts and graphics convey something astonishing at a glance or provide context with dozens or even hundreds of data points. They're hugely popular on social media and have a prominent standing on both our Instagram and TikTok pages. Throughout each of our articles, you'll notice citings and mentions of other sources that are used to create each article. We'll always include written references to other sources if they contribute to the content. Similarly, you'll see citing for any charts or graphics used. Any charts that are created by our data journalists will note The Economist underneath them. Therefore, all graphs can be utilised in academic writing and reporting with correct citation. When browsing across both our website and apps, you'll always be able to see the options to save, share, and give, which you can see under the title here. Selecting the save option will result in a pop-up leading to your saved stories, which you can also access through the My Economist dropdown in the top right hand of the screen. Saving articles allows you to flag the content you're interested in reading so you can easily come back to it after you finish browsing. You'll also be able to share articles. So this can be through copying the article link, scanning a QR code, or sharing through different channels like email or Microsoft Teams. This allows you to share and engage with content within channels that you utilize daily. Additional areas that are worth noting within our in-depth section of content are our special reports, technology quarterly, and essays, which you can see here. These are comprehensive analytical reports that provide an in-depth analysis of various topics. These usually span across a number of articles, which are similar to chapters, and are released every few months. As the name suggests, our Technology Quarterly covers major technological themes like AI, where our special reports and essays cover a range of topics from international relations to climate change, from healthcare to politics. Now, navigating over to our culture and society section, there are two notable areas I'd like to highlight. The first is our sister publication, 1843. This again is longer form journalism that takes a narrative approach to topics rather than an analytical approach. Unlike articles for The Economist, 1843 articles have bylines, as many of these pieces relate more closely to the correspondent's experience as a reporter and discuss topics on a more personal level. 1843 covers a multitude of topics, which at times can be quite emotive content. Recently, we released a slightly different 1843. Erin Braun, The Economist West Coast correspondent, wrote a somber article about the wildfires and the impact on the neighborhoods in LA, which you can see here. A shorter article than usual, this was paired with imagery from the fires recently, providing insight into the devastation and loss that has happened for those affected. Navigating back through the drop-down menu to our the second section of the culture and society area, which I'd like to discuss, which is The Economist Reads. This is quite an interesting area of our content that many of our readers have not necessarily utilized as often, but can be a great place to start when beginning any research or reporting project. In this section, our journalists suggest different sources that can increase understanding of certain industries and cultural specific topics. As you can see here, our journalists have suggested 4 sources that discuss some of the key cultural issues impacting equality and diversity within America. Providing additional sources for background information can drastically increase your understanding of a topic and can benefit your research, whether this is primarily for reports or assignments or just in addition to any coursework. Right down the bottom of the article, which you can see here, our journalists usually highlight different content that The Economist has previously published on the topic, which can also add value to your research. If we skip over to the far right-hand side of the drop-down menu, you can see additional content that is available to you, which branches out from the usual article-specific content. Podcasts are a great way to keep up to date with news and global issues while you're on the move. We produce a mix of daily and weekly podcasts, which you can see here. On the app, there is a separate section for podcasts, which you can find at the bottom of the screen on the navigation bar. You're also able to connect these podcasts to other streaming platforms like Apple Music and Spotify to make it easy. The majority of our business, finance, and economics student subscribers recommend the Money Talks weekly podcast, which you can see here. Here you can follow our America, Europe, and Asia correspondents as they discuss insights on the latest developments and underlying trends changing the global economy. The next section I'd like to highlight is our newsletters. Newsletters are another great way to find our current regional or industry-specific content and have these sent straight through to your email. Through the newsletter tab, you can sign up to any of our 22 newsletters, 18 of which are only available to subscribers. You can see some of these are sent out daily and some are weekly. Our newsletter team are constantly expanding our range of newsletters, so this is a really good page to be aware of in order to keep up to date with any changes and new newsletters. I would highly recommend our Blighty newsletter, which is our regional Britain newsletter, which you can see here. Some key topics that have been highlighted in recent weeks include the newly appointed Labor government and its impact so far, AI and Britain's involvement with it, as well as themes around homelessness in Britain and the housing market. In addition to our regional newsletters, our fortnightly climate change newsletter, The Climate Issue, which you can see here, may also be of interest. It includes an essay taking a deeper look at big climate news, as well as providing a roundup of climate articles, charts, podcasts, films, and events from the last fortnight. The last section I'd like to highlight is our, here we go, is our subscriber-only event page, where you'll have exclusive access to our specialist correspondence through a series of digital events. These events cover a range of topics, including existing geopolitical conflicts, current global issues, and themes. These are usually every few weeks, and as you can see on screen now, our next event will be on Monday, 24th of February at 4 p.m. GMT. This will be discussing the war between Ukraine and Russia, which is now entering its fourth year. In order to attend these events, all you need to do is select the Reserve Your Place button, which you can see here. If for whatever reason you're unable to attend the event, once you have reserved your place, you will receive a recording of the event sent straight through to your email so you can watch it when it suits. Our correspondents usually run a live Q&A session during these events, so you're able to send through questions beforehand or send them through during the event, which makes this quite an interactive experience. Now on to our newest product feature. So we are now fully integrated with Microsoft Teams, which means once you have activated your access, you'll also be able to download The Economist on the Microsoft Teams platform via the Microsoft App Store. You can do this now by scanning the QR code on the screen, which will lead you to the download page. Once this has been downloaded, you'll be able to use your Economist login to access our content through Teams. You can easily share and discuss content with peers through different Teams channels, allowing our content to be available within the platforms you use daily. Any content that is shared will lead you out to our website where you can continue browsing. And if there are any issues with this, please contact the support team and they'll be able to assist you. This brings us to the end of today's session. I hope this has been helpful and you now feel equipped with different ways to experience and engage with our content. Thank you all for your time.